Hello and welcome to the Afro Dominion Show. I am Freeman Singirankabo and thank you so much for tuning in to our live and brief broadcast today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from the television, radio station and social media, welcome to our busy day today. We're super grateful for the opportunity to come here and to serve you. Guys, we're gonna get right to the point since we got so many things happening here. And as you know, guys, we talk it like it is. We give it to you straight up without beating without beating around the bushes. And today is no different. And those of you guys who are not accustomed to our broadcast here at Afro Dominion, we speak truthfully, boldly, with no apologies for the issues relevant to our lives, be it now, live, or anytime. And we also welcome each and every one of you guys to come and fact check us real time as it happens. We also do give you the opportunity to tune in and actually interact with us as it happens. Though today, unfortunately, we're running out of time. We've got so many things happening. We would not be giving you guys the opportunity to join in and make some live comments as it happens. But rest assured, this coming week, next week, we will revisit this whole entire week and give you guys an opportunity to have a saying as it happens. So what's up? What's going on today? Today, what's happening? We are looking, all eyes are headed towards CHOGM in Rwanda, which is one of those events happening. And today is the climax of the event, given that it's coming to a closure in just a couple more days. And so we've been following, and we are still following what's happening in today. And right now we want to talk about what's been going on today throughout the day, especially today we had some of the biggest subjects that they have spoken about, or that they talked about. One of which is violence against women, but also the malaria and the neglected tropical disease conversation, those of which have taken place today. Those are not the only conversation that has taken place today, so just want to make sure that it's clear. However, those are some of the biggest highlight that we've actually have thus far, and wrote down as one of the important things we would love to talk about. One of the issues that I didn't see, which I want to bring it to you guys right now, is what about the neglected tropical wars, of which have been ravaging Africa for so long, not just the tropical area, but the entire region. Specifically, right now in Rwanda, in the Great Lakes region, we have conflicts as old as 28 years, even more. And right now, as CHOGM is taking place, we've got we're fighting. We have wars between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a topic of which it's not on the table for discussions today. So I want to talk about those three things: violence against women, malaria and the neglected tropical disease, and the neglected tropical wars. And I want to just give it to you right quick. I welcome all your feedbacks, guys. Those of you following straight out from the social media, welcome. If you're on the radio station or television, you won't be able to give us some live comments right away or interact, as I have told you in advance. But we will revisit this conversation next week, where we would have more than enough time to actually talk about it. So, guys, let's get right into it. Currently, as we speak, violence against women and girls. What is CHOGM doing about it? Right now, as it happens in Rwanda, rape, it's one of the highest issues that they're dealing with right now. And just a few weeks before, you've heard about the rapes amongst these celebrities, these princes, Miss Rwandas being raped, and issues of which has now been hashed out, because that could be seen as a distraction. So we have rapes, we have some of these, violence against women in Rwanda is at its highest. However, you are now going to hear of it during COVID. During this CHOGM meetings, high-level meetings. Why? It's not really the focus. It's being spoken about as just the way you will just quickly highlight of an issue. However, you are now going to see these victims being actually the key, the center of the conversation. And that's one of the things that I would love each and every one of you brothers and sisters to actually note down. What is the point of talking about violence against women and girls when you cannot have testimonies, when you cannot have real testimonies? First ladies, they champion about violence against women and girls, and I love that they're actually making an effort. But if you really get down to it, put your money where your mouth is, what are you really doing? Some of those stakeholders within these institutions, within the presidencies, within these first ladies' cabinet, they are also the corporates. Again, a reference to these rapes that are alleged rapes. Let me put it that way, so you guys won't say that it hasn't been taken to court and this and that and that. But we know that these Miss Rwandas have been raped. They've been getting raped. Those are just the, these are what I would call the celebrities. But now think about an average citizen who's getting raped by the local soldier, local police, local military, and nothing gets to be done about it. This is not something that's occurring right now during the COVID. It's been going on for years. What has CHOGM been doing? Today I got a sense of talking about COVID. I don't know why. CHOGM and COVID, I don't know why I'm mixing them. I'm mixing the two. But what has CHOGM done? At least this whole year. Let's not even talk about since 2009. What has CHOGM been doing when it comes to violence against women? What is the track record? What has Rwanda been doing as far as violence against women? Guys, I kid you not, go back 2 weeks ago, go back 3 weeks ago. There are currently pending court cases, high level pending court cases right now about rapes in Rwanda. And those other rapes you will never get to hear of because the people who have gotten raped are just not as important that it can make it all the way to the televisions. So we want to just put a little bit of sunshine to the fact that yes, CHOGM is talking about, violence against women, but in reality, these are talking points. But they're barely putting any of these things in action. And we would love to see them putting them in action. But I do commend first ladies from various nations who have been taking actually steps to at least attempt to address these issues, even though we know that on the other side of the coin, the same forces attempting to resolve it are also mixed up in these atrocities. And guys, I'm not going to get into it. As I said, we will talk about it in more detail next week. Now, it comes down to malaria and neglected tropical disease. Guys, let's face it. I'm in the United States. When was the last time you've heard someone with malaria in the United States? When was the last time you've heard someone with malaria in the United Kingdom? Just talk about those two nations. So we have heard Prince Charles talking a little bit about it, but we also have heard commitment to end malaria by the year 2030. What is the idea of best practices amongst you scientists, amongst you politicians, or that's something that never just comes to be? The United States, the last time I checked, it's on planet Earth. United Kingdom is on planet Earth. How is it that we don't have malaria here? We don't have malaria in the United Kingdom. But in Africa, malaria's been there. What's so different about the regions? What has been done here in the United States for the entire country to get rid of malaria? They didn't have to wait 2030 to get this done. What has taken place in the United Kingdom for the malaria bug to be eradicated from there? So guys, you're asking the wrong questions. This already has been done. Why do you have to reinvent the wheel? That's just the question. I'm going to pause there and I'll be done with this issue of malaria and the neglected tropical diseases. A lot of the diseases that you have in Africa, that we have in Africa, are not in these other continents. Why that's the case? That is a question that you guys need to be talking about. It's not that there isn't any capacity to eradicate these diseases. That's not the issue, guys. I'll give you the homework. Go figure out why is it that these diseases continue to kill people. Last but not the least, you've noticed, those of you following CHOGM right now, they have not talked about the neglected tropical wars in Africa. There will not be any development while we still have neglected tropical wars. Right in Rwanda and the border of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. As CHOGM is taking place, there is a war on the other side, just a few kilometers away. No more than 50, 60 kilometers. Actually, about between 50 to 80, my apologies, going further in the west. So there's a war there. This war is as old as 28 years. Guys, we know that the United States, we know that the United Kingdom is gaining from these wars. They have to sell arms, let's face it. So on one side, business is good because guns are being sold, bombs are being sold, weapons of mass destruction are being sold. But also, it would be a remiss. It is not just the United Kingdom and the United States. You also have Russia, you also have Australia, you also have Germany, you also have the French. The list is long of the stakeholders. So we talk about the neglected tropical diseases, but we never talk about the neglected tropical wars. When was the last time you actually witnessed wars on these other continents? With the exception of Ukraine. That's like one of those anomalies that's taking place. But it's also a planned war. It's not an accidental war. When was the last time you experienced a war in the United Kingdom? When was the last time you experienced a war in the United States? And some of these other big boys who are currently financing these wars. So young people, while these amazing look people are having these great meetings for PR, remember, in just 2 days, by the end of this week, most of you won't even remember that there was a meeting. And I am wondering, millions and millions and millions of dollars that are being spent. How does that translate into the quality of your own lives at the end of the day? What is CHOGM doing today to better the quality of your life today? You, as an average citizen, guys, if you cannot tell, if you do not know what you're getting out of it, I'm wondering, when are you going to seek out the interest of your own people first and foremost before the outsiders? There's so much to be said about all this that's happening, but guys, again, we keep on saying it, it's up to you, it's up to me. It's up to us, sons and daughters, kings and queens of Africa, to really do your own bidding, to take arms and fight off these diseases, fight off these wars, fight off these bad politics. It is up to us to get rid of that, guys. It certainly isn't going to be CHOGM. CHOGM has been in existence for the past 100+ years. Again, not the acronym, but these meetings sponsored by the United Kingdom have been in existence since 1887 up to this very day. What is the track record of what they have done for you, brothers and sisters? Now, they have absolutely championed for the interests of the Great Britain. Even Prince Charles, as he have told you, in the next 5 to 10 years, they will be having CHOGM the Commonwealth nations would have a GDP of up to 19.5 trillion. Because they want you to keep on participating into that same economy. In contrast, we in Africa, you will be having about close to 500 billion in the free trade. I also want to make sure that I stand corrected. Boris Johnson, not Prince Charles. Boris Johnson earlier, he was talking about how the economy of the Great Britain is going to be thriving in comparison to the economy of Africa. One is going to be 19.5 trillion. For those of you who do not know what a trillion is 19,500 billion, where Africa is going to have close to 500 billion in revenue, in trades. So I'm wondering, the size of the entire Africa and the Great Britain would have 19.5 trillion, and Africa is going to have 0.5, close to 0.5 trillion. 19.5 and close to 0.5. What's wrong with that picture? Guys, you need to start using your head all over again. Numbers are great when we're talking about it. How does it affect you and I at the end of the day? That's really what we would love to talk about, guys. The African Free Trade Area versus the new upcoming Great Britain Commonwealth Free Trade Area. Something else that's being created to accommodate all of you members of the Commonwealth, including Rwanda, as it has been also explained that Rwanda is going to benefit from that. Now, my question is, you Rwandese citizens, do you know anything about what you are going to be gaining out of the whole deal? Do you know what you're gaining out of the African free trade? I know that all of this is mumbo jumbo, because none of you care. None of you cares enough, you an average citizen, because it doesn't really concern you. Take a look at how clean Kigali looks right now. You would not see pedestrians on those streets. I want you to know that it's not that we don't have pedestrians on those streets. They are prohibited to be on those streets. They've got a curfew, guys, because you foreigners are in Rwanda right now. Again, imagine downtown Washington, D.C., telling all Washingtonians, all the U.S. citizens who are not part of these meetings to stay away from the city, to stay away because foreigners and all these dignitaries are going to be occupying the area. What's wrong with that picture? Schools have been stopped because CHOGM is taking place in Rwanda. What's wrong with that picture? When was the last time that schools in London were actually stopped because CHOGM was to take place? Guys, just take a look of what we're doing and imagine whose interest is it that you're serving, first and foremost, or you're looking after. So huge thanks to all of you guys working so hard today to cover a lot of these issues taking place. I want to give you a huge, I really want to commend you, brothers and sisters, for all that you're doing. But I also want to tell our brothers and sisters as well who are fighting on behalf of these victims of crimes against women, rapes against women and girls, our sisters, our mothers, our aunties, to really let's keep on working hard against these real pandemics. And just remember that Rwanda, the host of CHOGM today, is currently committing so many rapes against women. Especially those women you're never going to be able to see. Some of whom we have accustomed to know, but others you won't get a chance to know. So while you're having these amazing meetings, the same topics you're talking about it, you have not spent a single minute to meet victims victims against rape, for example, in Rwanda, to know their stories. And we're talking about the real ones, those who haven't been coached on what to say, how to say it. Just me, the normal victim of rape in Rwanda. There are plenty of them. But you ladies, you men who are in these CHOGM meetings, as soon as these meetings are over, you cut your flag and you're out and you've done your ceremony for the day. And you want these people, you Africans, you're going to be left behind to pick up where you have left, to resume from the same agony that you're experiencing right now. And my question to you all, whose joke is it on at the end of the day? Respectfully. So let's get together and actually really get some work done. I submit to you, it would not be coming from CHOGM. It has to be you, brothers and sisters. I got nothing. I don't hate CHOGM, just so that it's clear. Fair business, do business as you so please. But brothers and sisters, just know whose interest you're seeking after first and foremost. I am pro-business, but I am also pro my brothers and sisters first and foremost. Hence, African dominion. We've got to take the full dominion of Africa. The full dominion of Africa. One nation at a time by us brothers and sisters. And we want to make sure that we're looking after the interest of our brothers and sisters first and foremost, before you go look after the interests of the rest of them. And that's all I gotta tell you guys. Next week we want to talk about in depth about violence against women and girls, these neglected tropical wars, but also why is it we're talking about malaria and how you can eradicate these tropical diseases, these neglected tropical diseases, when they've already have been eradicated in these other continents. There's something they call best practices. Especially since we're very good in copy and paste. Find out what's been successful in the United Kingdom, how they eradicated malaria there, and some of these other tropical diseases, neglected tropical diseases. Find out how it's done here in the United States. It's already been done. Why would you want to reinvent the wheel? And also ask yourself, if you didn't know that it's already been eradicated here, how come you don't know? And they're talking about 2030 to eradicate these diseases. Guys, that's where I'm going to stop because we got so much going on. Thanks to all of you guys tuning in. And I encourage you to keep on following what's happening, guys. Be informed, and actually take some time and think about what's being spoken. Because at the end of the day, it's going to come right back to bite you in the back. Especially those of you who are already ignorant about it. You won't be able to make any changes without you embracing the situation and embracing the situation as is. And get right dirty to it and do what you got to do, guys. So thanks a lot, guys. Those of you who want to leave us some comment, please do so. Pass them through our website, which is www.afridominion.com. Make sure to leave some comment. And those of you actually who prefer, I almost forgot to let you know, if you go to the website and you'll find both our phone number, our email, our social media handler, you name it, it's there. And with that in mind, guys, thank you so much. We're going back to these other programs. We have like 3 or 4 running live programs. Hence, the reason why we're not going to talk to you guys as long, because we already know that you're following them on the other side. And we just wanted to let you know that we do want to ask of you, why is it that we cannot talk about the neglected tropical wars? Wars of which currently Rwanda is in the midst of them, fighting against the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where in this region, the Great Lakes region, more than 10 million lives have already been lost. And not a single person has yet to go to jail for it. Women are being raped. People are being butchered, killed mercilessly. And this time we're looking at it via cell phones. We're looking at it via a lot of these live recordings. Guys, what is wrong with us people? What is CHOGM doing about it? Do you know having a guest in your own house while the kitchen is on fire and you pretend that nothing is happening? I can never understand this kind of way of life. And seeing that not one single guest talks about it, that for me, it tells me where you stand with the Rwandese people, where you stand with the African people. When the house is on fire, the last time I checked, either you grab a bucket, you help me to squash the fire, but if you just come in and you're like, what's going on up there? Oh, take it easy. We got you. We're not with that. In any case, guys, I wanted to plug that in and think about it. Think about all that is happening. Let's talk about it next. And come prepared next week. Until then, guys, I'm Freeman Singirankabo, live here at our Free Dominion. Have yourselves a great day. Toodles.